What's going on, guys? Welcome to Adam McKola TV. I am Adam. We are live, and this is the preview ahead of the Manchester derby. Manchester United against Manchester City at Old Trafford. Huge game ahead, a game that I cannot wait for. Both teams coming into this one in relatively good form as well. Manchester City obviously beating Real Madrid away from home in the Santiago Bernabeu, and then lifting the first trophy of the season with that League Cup win at Wembley the other day. Manchester United, 9 games unbeaten, 6 wins, 3 draws for Manchester United, 22 goals scored, 2 conceded, 7 clean sheets. We're in fantastic form at the moment, but obviously you have to take into consideration some of the opposition that we have played. Derby County, Tranmere Rovers, obviously 2 games against Club Brugge, but nevertheless, we are in very good form at the minute. Manchester United are going into this one in form, and fingers crossed we can get another result over City. Although I've got to say, I am confident, but I'm wary. I'm confident, but I'm wary. Now, the stats for this game is weird because you look at it, and I think it's 6 of the last 7 games between these two teams have been won by the away side. United have a great record at the Etihad, but they have a good record at Old Trafford. So we're going into this one where we know we can beat them, but at home, they've done us a fair few times now. In the last game at Old Trafford, they beat us comfortably. It could have been really, really bad. Obviously, Rashford got the second half goal. He made it look a little bit better. 3-1 at the end. They played with about 5 false nines or something ridiculous like that. It was crazy. But it was a taste of what can go wrong and what can happen when you play against Manchester City. And that's what I'm a little bit wary of, that happening to Manchester United. Because once they get going, they can get a goal or two and kill a game like that. Whereas we do know, if Manchester United start well, get the first goal, Manchester City aren't the Manchester City side that they were last season. There are still frailties there. Missing Aymeric Laporte at the back. They're a little bit weaker now. There's question marks over whether Harry Maguire is going to be available for this one. But I'm hoping that with Harry Maguire, it's a little bit mind games by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, in that we knew he wasn't going to be playing in that game against Derby. We were going to give him the night off, but Ole's turned it around and said, he's injured, and then he'll be available for this one. Fingers crossed it is that, although Harry Maguire did tweet he was injured as well, unless he's in on it. But nevertheless, Manchester United, Manchester City, always a massive game. Bigger for United this time around because we need the points more. And I don't want to see us lose this little bit of form as well. I think the performance is important here. Because you can lose against Manchester City. It's the way you lose against them if you do. And I don't want to see United go down and be real bad, because then the questions start coming up again. At the moment, everything's rosy. We're going into this game, we're feeling confident. If we can get a result here, we're going into the Spurs game and obviously the Europa League game thinking, yes, we're in here. We've got a chance. Let's get a result against Spurs, see the rest of the season out well, and we can get into that Champions League football spot. Who knows what can happen in the Europa League and the FA Cup. So I don't want to see us lose that momentum that we've gained. And we know what happens. Look, you can easily lose against City. But if we lose against City, all the same bullshit's going to start again. The tiresome talk of changing manager and all of that. And I'm just sick of it. I'm just sick of it. I want to just enjoy football. I'm looking forward to the Europa League quarterfinals. That's a weird thing. Like at the moment, I don't know about you guys. Let me know in the comments. But are you enjoying the football? I'm enjoying football again. I'm looking forward to United games at the moment. I really am. I'm looking forward to seeing how we get on, who plays, and regardless of who we're playing at the moment, we seem to be getting a performance. Now I know that's nothing to get carried away with. I know, we've not arrived yet. We're not back, but I'm enjoying the football again, which is a good thing. Harris says no De Bruyne for City. Yeah, we know that they've got no Aymeric Laporte, but it's possible that they'll have um, no Kevin De Bruyne as well, who would be a massive miss for them. We know how good he is, but we know how much strength and depth that they have as well. They still have a very good side. Mo says he feels like he's watching a great side in the making. Igalo needs to start this game, says Ilya. For the first time in years, I love this team. I like the players, not just because we are winning, or rather not losing lately, says Robert Gergis. And Joe Huck says, would you start Igalo? I'll give you my predicted 11 later, and we'll talk a little bit about Igalo in a minute. But on this point about, like Robert says, for the first time in years, I love watching this team. I like the players, not just because we are winning, or rather not losing. And I've got to say, it's the same. I totally agree. Like most of the players as well, like Ollie's got rid of a lot of players that we maybe didn't want to stick around the team. Now, there's still a few about. But the mood in the camp's better. The mood amongst the sport, we still got, fractions that are against the manager, and you will always have that split opinion. And even people that doubt him, you just need to get behind him. It's one of us, boys. Look at Igalo. He's one of us, and that's why we're all behind him. Regardless of what people have said, whether he's out of his depth or we shouldn't be signing him, or it showed you how far we've fallen, we're firmly behind him. And the same goes with Ollie. Like, he could be, not the man for the job. But we need to get behind him. He's one of us. And I'm just beginning to enjoy the football again, man. It's really good fun. And I think that's down to the team and the manager for the atmosphere around the camp. Yes, Chandler. Love a little bit of Austin 316. Every single signing has been massive, and the team seem more together. We happy seeing United. We played better since Bruno's came, and all the players have turned up, to Simone. And sometimes that's all you need. One player can help lift the camp, lift the team, lift the mood around, make people think, yo, I need to fix up. Look how on it this guy is. We've been without some big players so far this season. And to get a player like him in, and not only for him to turn up, but to settle as well. And I think Igalo is someone that has also helped the team in that he's come in and he's settled straight away. And he's like, I want to play for Manchester United. Do you, boys? Asking questions to them, probably making them think, yo, it's fucking right. It's great to be here. And the same with Bruno Fernandes. He's come in and he said, yo, let's pick this shit up. Let's be dominating these games. Let's be getting on the ball, forcing things. And obviously that comes down to quality, the quality that he has in him, but also the attitude that he has brought with him as well. And I wasn't sure about Harry Maguire getting the captain's armband. Thought it was a little bit early for him, but since he's got the armband, his performances have improved massively. And again, he looks like he's got the right attitude around the camp. Some of those fan cams after Derby were great. Says Glenn Fletcher. Cheers, mate. It was good. It was mental outside Derby yesterday. Outside Pride Park, absolutely carnage. It was good fun. And obviously United fans singing that "Ole Ole Ole Ola" song, which is belting. I love it. Ali has done all the right things so far, says Ronnie. Yeah, you can point to times where he's got it wrong, but more often than not, I do think he's got it right, especially with his squad management in terms of players coming in. We would have liked to have had a few more signings in. We would have liked to have got Bruno Fernandes in the summer, but I don't think that was down to Oli not wanting the players. Daniel thinks he gets praised for the most basic things. I tend to disagree. He gets criticised for the most basic things sometimes. You get criticised for smiling, for fuck's sake. Do you know what I mean? So you can swing that one both ways. And I'm someone that I had my doubts about Oli, whether he's the man. So I'm not someone that's just going to come out and beat the MUCV drum and say, he's the best thing since sliced bread, because he's clearly not, and he shouldn't have been given the job at the time. The fact is he's here, and what he's done so far he's improved the squad. We're a bit thin. We need some improvement in areas. That will come with signings and younger players getting better, and injuries returning. He's got rid of some players that we didn't want around. The results are probably par for course so far. There's been games where we should have won. You can look back to games, Villa, Everton, away at home, by the way. I don't mean the away game, although we could have won the away game as well. Sheffield United. There's been games where he's got it wrong and cost us points. Okay, that's fine. But you could argue with a better squad we get better results. If we made those signings. So it works both ways. But when you look at the big, like where we are, okay, where are we? Semi-finalists of the League Cup. Okay, par for course. We'd expect to get there. Shame we didn't get to the final. We're still in the FA Cup, still in the Europa League. The fact we're in the Europa League isn't necessarily his fault. And, you know, the league, with this squad that we went into the season with, we would have thought we're going to finish around 4th, 5th, maybe 6th. But we're in and around those positions. Now, the season could tail off and we could finish 10th very quickly. And then rightly questions will be asked. But so far, it looks like we're going in the right direction. Improvements in young players since his arrival has been immense, says Jeffrey. I have a good feeling about Sunday, says Ryan. Few injuries in the City lineup. Obviously, Kevin De Bruyne could potentially be missing out. And of course, also, who else could be missing out? Aymeric Laporte is missing out. So they obviously do have their issues in terms of players not being available. But nevertheless, they've still got a strong side. You've still got an option of Aguero or Gabriel Jesus. You've still got options in that team all over the park. So we can't take them for granted. We can't take them lightly. We can't think, oh yeah, we've beaten 2 times. Ollie's beaten 3 times, so we're bound to. That's not the case. These lot are still, they've kicked as well into gear recently, which is fair play to them. Since the FFP issues, which obviously aren't the players' fault. The players, it seems to have galvanised their squad a little bit. Question marks over whether they'll be more concerned with the Champions League and the FA Cup, because top 4 is confirmed for them pretty much. So, yeah. Robert says, full fit, who is your front 3? I'll give you my full team, full fit. Fully fit. My full 11 would be De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Bailly, Maguire. Luke Shaw's got better recently, so it's a toss-up between Shaw and Brandon Williams at left back. Midfield, with the options that we have, would be Fred, Bruno, Pogba, with a front 3 of Martial, Rashford, and actually, I'd go 3-4-1-2. With De Gea, Bailly, Maguire, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, Fred, Pogba, Luke Shaw, Bruno, Martial, Rashford. We got no width. So I'll go 3-4-1-2 if we had everyone fit. Obviously, in some games you can play more attacking players. Jeremy Vea with the super chat says, we can't make the mistakes that we did in the Carabao Cup. We conceded and that was it. We have to stay focused all night and frustrate them. Glory, glory, Man United from Malta. Jeremy, appreciate your support on the channel, mate. And yes, you're damn right. We can't make the same mistakes that we did in that home leg against them. And we kept trying to play out from the back against them at home, which was really frustrating. We had Phil Jones playing that day, so that's not his game, do you know what I mean? We had Jones, Maguire, I think. It was all pretty shaky. I think at that point in time, Maguire wasn't quite at his level yet either. And the defence looked poor, and we just kept trying to play out from the back, and they just kept catching us, inviting the pressure on for them for a full 45 minutes. I think it was Ollie's fault in that we didn't change it. We didn't, change anything. But also, the players have to use their brain sometimes and think, let me just go long when it's not working, beat the press. And we never did that. Vaybarb says, I absolutely love the rebuild Ollie is trying, but I think he lacks tactical knowledge in his backroom staff. Great to hear about United investing in data analysis, but Carrick and McKenna need help. That's a fair, balanced comment. Cheers, Vaybarb. Guys, keep your comments, keep your thoughts, keep your likes, shares, subscriptions, super chats, all of that coming in. Make sure you're keeping it locked here on Adam McKola TV, and coming up in the show in a little bit. We have got the predicted 11 and my predicted score as well, so that will be coming very, very soon. Will Odion Igalo be in my predicted 11? Is he in yours? Get your comments in those comments below. Make sure you're hitting that like button as well. Now, coming up is the predicted team. Obviously, so far what we've spoken about. We haven't quite spoken about Igalo, have we? We haven't spoken about Igalo. Now, Igalo has been fantastic. He's really held up the pace for us. What differences could he make in this game in terms of to the squad, to the team? Because obviously, whenever we played against City, we've tried to play in that quick counter attack, whereas he would give you that. He would give you that physical presence where he's going to stay in and around the 18-yard box, stay central. If you played Martial there with him, going to be able to hold the ball, turn, and get Martial in behind. Obviously, if you've got Bruno then running off him, you've got another one. And that's what I really like. I think BT covered it in their coverage yesterday after the game. I watched a little bit of it when I got back. And it was just looking at, like, as soon as he gets the ball, holds it, he just triggers everybody else out around him. And it's good to see that movement there. It'd be really interesting to see, like I said, with our best 11, everyone fit, I'd go a 3-4-1-2. It'd be really interesting if we went with that formation with Igalo and Martial up top, because I think it has everything in that. It has that little bit of physicality, it has that little bit of strength, it has the pace in behind. Martial's happy to work either of the flanks if he has to, whereas Igalo will stay in between the sticks and in between the 18-yard box. He can hold the ball up, Martial can get off, Martial can even hold the ball off and allow Igalo to make his runs in behind, allow Bruno to get into the game. So I think that will probably be the way forward. Now, the midfield, we rested Fred, we were able to bring Fred and Bruno off. Now, does that mean he's going to play Matic, Bruno and Fred in this game? Or is he just leaving McTominay out there because, McTominay's been injured, he hasn't had much games recently, he wants to get that 90 minutes under his belt ahead of the derby? I'm not sure, I didn't quite know how to take that one. Because obviously I do feel Fred's the better player and he's probably more important to our midfield at this moment in time. That's not to say McTominay is not a fantastic player, he is. But, was Ollie saying Fred starting that game, McTominay isn't? Or am I thinking too much into it? Will they both start this game? There's an argument about Poch and Ollie going on in the comments. I really don't. Just come on. We're going to talk about Pochettino. Let's save it until May, yeah? End of the season. He's not coming in before then. So what's the point ruining your time talking about it now? It don't make no goddamn sense. Come on. Thank you, Glenn, for sorting it out. In there. Shall we pack the midfield with a diamond or go with a back three? To sidearms H. That's an interesting one. I think Steve was talking about us going with a diamond when I was speaking with him earlier in this game. It was an intriguing one and it kind of makes sense as well. And I can see the benefits to obviously doing that. So could totally see that happening. I would go with the 3-4-1-2, but that's just me. Ollie hasn't seemed to be going with that recently, but maybe it's because he's showing that we can be tactically flexible. We don't have to stick to the same formation all the time. We can chop and change things if needs be. So it's always good to see that. It's all going off in those comments. Yes, guys, so thank you very much for keeping it locked. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Get your super chats coming in as well. And there's a little bit of an update on the channel as well. Obviously, you've been seeing I've been doing more straight up. You've been seeing I've been doing more for Adam McKola TV. I'm starting to take this channel a little bit more seriously now. Before, it was just something for a little bit of fun, a little bit of, you know, something to keep me entertained. But now, I'm taking it a little bit more seriously. I'm going to be investing more into it, investing more time into it, and hopefully making a lot more content for you guys that we don't make at full-time Devils, or that I can make here and on Straight Up. Straight Up, the link's in the description below, is there. We talk about UFC, boxing, music, entertainment. We're going to be doing WWF content over there as well. Classic WWF content. No, that's why I'm saying WWF, not WWE. On Straight Up, and then here it's going to be pure Manchester United football chat, all that good stuff right here on Adam McKola TV. So make sure you keep it locked. We're stepping it up here. Make sure you're subscribing more as well. And I also, all my content is always going to be free. I never want you to have to pay for any of my videos. But I might open up the subscription thing so that people can, if they want to, subscribe to help support the cause. But apart from that, my videos will always be free. Thank you for tuning in. Keep it locked. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And right now, we are getting into the predicted team. And there it is. My predicted 11 is that 3-4-1-2. And Igalo is up top. David De Gea in goal. Maguire, Bailly, Shaw. I was about to say Axel Wan-Bissaka. That was literally what I was just about to say. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, McTominay, Fred, Williams, Bruno, Martial, and Igalo. So I do think we'll see McTominay starting in this game. Good news is as well on the team news front. It's only Rashford, Lee Grant, and Pogba that are out at the moment. Rashford's obviously a while away yet. Pogba's back in Carrington and will be back in training next week. So hopefully he'll be back, maybe even on the bench against LASK Linz, who knows. But we're getting very close to a full strength squad, and we're able to chop and change things around a little bit at the moment, which is always good as well. So yeah, man, I absolutely am loving it at the moment here with the squad and the fact that we're getting all of our players back. But now we need to add more quality to that in the summer, and hopefully keep the quality that we've got, get rid of some of the dead wood, and do all of that stuff. But that is my predicted 11 for this one with a 3-4-1-2. Right, let me check out some of your comments. Glenn says he fancies the 3. Views on the Lingard abuse, says Jimmy. I'll talk about that in a bit. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, DWM. Ronnie. Robert's talking about the Everett interview. Make sure you're checking that out. Don't forget to talk about the NBA. Maybe we could do a bit of basketball as well, although that's not my speciality. Nice one, Glenn. Jeffrey, Ilya, thank you, brothers and sisters, and whoever else is in there. Imagine Pogba in for Fred. Same as I picked Ellen, but I went with Romero. Interesting one. Let us know more on that. I think we should stick with David De Gea. Mo says I think Matic will play, and not against that at all. I'm not against that, and you might be surprised to hear that if you've not heard from me in a while, you've not watched the channel in a while. You might be surprised to hear that, because I thought he was done. I thought he was finished. I thought that was it for Matic. But what it turns out to be is that it's not done for Matic. He's shown that he's still got it in him. He's been showing some good form. He's been showing a level head. Hasn't got the legs. But he's using his experience. He's just sitting there protecting the back four. He's given the ball away a few times and it's worried me. But that Chelsea game, you think of that. Thought he was, sorry, the Everton game, I thought he was excellent in that game. Probably our man of the match. And you look around, he's been a quality addition to the squad recently. I say addition because it was almost like he was just left out, hung out to dry, like he was never going to play again. So yeah, it's been good to see and refreshing to see. I still don't think we should give him a new contract though. Matic, Fred, Bruno in midfield to Sachin. Loving the t-shirt, says Matt. Yes. Oh, hell yeah. Steve Austin's the greatest. The greatest. The absolute goal. Rather a Greenwood winner or Igalo winner. I'd just rather a winner. But it would be great to see Mason Greenwood scoring. But he's got 12 goals this season, so I'll go Adi on Igalo. Although, for his long-term future, imagine Greenwood scoring in this. Like, he'd be buzzing, wouldn't he? I'd say both, with Greenwood scoring the winner. It's like you look at Rashford, yeah, and he dispelled that myth about, oh, can he play in big games? Can he do this? He dispelled that early doors. So did Anthony Martial. You know, the issues with them have never been their performances in big games. Their issues have been consistency and working on certain aspects to their games, which you'd expect as they've been coming through in their developing years. But they dispelled those myths of, can they perform in big games early doors? I'm not saying Mason Greenwood has to, but if you come off the bench and score, it's like, boom, already scored against City. Angel Gomez, we need to play him. And then Daniel says, where is Gomez? Hopefully, there's been rumours recently that Angel Gomez is signing a new deal. Fingers crossed that happens. Not sure whether they're true or not, but I would really like it if he did sign a new deal. I'd take a goal from both cheers. 100%, Matt. Totally agree with that. Hopefully he can score another banger. Don't forget we want to answer the Martial goal as well. So we're going 3. Is that what we're doing? I'll have to change my score prediction to 3-2 if we're saying Igalo, Martial and Greenwood are going to score. But yeah, hope we do. So that's my predicted team. De Gea, Maguire, Bailly, Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, McTominay, Fred Williams, Bruno, Martial, Igalo. Let us know what you're thinking about that. Let us know your predicted 11s. Let us know your scores. My score predictions are 2-2. In the knowledge that I'm usually wrong. I'm usually wrong, but I'm not. But let's say I am. I'm usually wrong, so if I should be wrong, we'll win 3-2. We need to turn up though. And because of that game in the League Cup, I'm hoping we learn from it. And we don't make the mistakes that we did there. Obviously, I don't want to sound harsh and like a bastard, but we did have Phil Jones playing at centre-half and we were trying to play it out from the back, and obviously that's not his strength. So maybe it'll be different if we're trying to do that this time, but it's hard to play out from the back when you're playing against a side that are so efficient in their press, that are so ruthless in their press. Just 6 seconds of fury is nuts. And yeah, Matt's going for a 3-2. Igalo scores over 5 goals. I would keep him next season. I spoke about that with Steve uncensored, so I'm not going to give you my response to that right now. But I will talk about the video that we saw yesterday of some fan recording Jesse Lingard as Jesse Lingard was heading to the team bus. Now, for you guys that don't know how it works at games, so United's team bus, when it goes into away grounds, and even home games as well, into grounds and out of grounds, they'll have a designated spot where they have to park and where the players will get on and off that bus. So it's not like a thing where it's a random spot where the players get on and off and you have to figure, like, there's a player's exit. So you'll know where they're going to come from. So fans will queue after games, before games, either Derby fans or the home team's fans, or United fans from the local area, or United fans that have been to the game, or even people that haven't been to the game and they just know United's in town and they're autograph hunters or they want a selfie or whatever. They will head down to where the team bus is. So when they're there, then the players are walking off, and it's up to the players whether they stop and sign and do all that kind of stuff. A lot of the times they will. Jesse Lingard's one of those that will always spend time signing things for fans and stuff. And you would have seen it in like cheeky sport videos and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm setting the scene for you right now is what I'm doing. So that's the situation. Now, after the game, United have won 3-0. Some might say Jesse Lingard scored the opener, although Luke Shaw would be gutted if we said that out loud. Jesse Lingard and the team are heading back to the bus. Someone's recording, they're in the crowd, about 10 yards away, recording Jesse as he's heading on, screaming abuse at him. Jesse, you shit. Jesse, you this, you that, this, that, the other. Shouting out goals and assist stats that aren't true because Jesse's got goals and assists this season. But we know this stat that he's referring to from last season. And I was embarrassed for the guy holding the phone, not for Jesse Lingard. I was embarrassed, like, you're around families and kids and people like that are hoping to get autographs and things like that, or hoping to get a glimpse of their heroes. And one, you've just ruined it for them. Because, you know, now he's less likely to stop, so are the rest of the other players. And two, you're just an idiot. Like, we all have footballing opinions. We all have footballing opinions. Jesse Lingard's had many bad games, and he'll deserve criticism for those bad games, and he will expect criticism for those bad games. But what is totally unfair is people going above and beyond to abuse those people. Now, some might say, in England, it's a little bit soft. You have those kind of instances in Spain, in Italy, in all these kind of countries on a regular occurrence. I mean, Sporting Lisbon had fans gate crashing their training ground and holding up players and all sorts of mad shit going on. So some might say it's part and parcel of being a footballer. But I just think, like, the geezer was probably over 18, or he's old enough to know what he's doing. And it's like, what are you gaining out of that? You tweeted the video, saw the reaction, deleted it. Now, there was a little bit of, someone dropped the M-bomb in the video as well. Now, I don't know whether it was the guy that was recording it, so I don't want to accuse him of racism as well, because the voice that said that horrible word sounded like it was coming from a little bit further away than where the phone was. Like, if it was coming from the guy that was holding the phone, it'd be a lot louder, do you know what I mean? So I don't want to accuse him of that. But you're there making a tit of yourself for clicks and retweets and likes, which eventually you bottled and deleted anyway. Now you're probably going to get a criminal record or whatever, or banned from football or whatever, which is, again, mental. Right, why would you want to do that to yourself? And it's just, what did you gain from it? And ultimately, these people are human beings at the end of the day. These people are human beings, and sometimes I'll go over the top, or I'm wrong in my criticism of a footballer or their performance or their talent or their ability. But I will never, like, abuse them or anything like that. And it's just because ultimately these men play for Man United. I wish I could play for Man United. I wish. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, these lot are heroes to United fans, young and old. And if you don't like them, you don't like them, you don't have to beg it. But then you don't have to scream at them either. There's worse people in the world you could be screaming that at. So, it's just daft. And, you know, if we're supporting these geezers, especially like, he's one of ours, you know what I mean? Again, I mentioned Igalo and so, one of ours, get behind him. Yes, you can think about a player. I don't think he's good enough. He's not good enough. Or that performance was shit. Or he's been poor for a long time. He shouldn't be playing. How is he starting this game? Fair fucks. That's football. But the rest of it, the vitriol, the abuse, the aggression, the anger, it's distasteful to me. And that's why I don't get it. And I think I try and, on this channel, I don't want to be one of those guys that are just here screaming my head off for clicks and retweets, and I want to have a little bit of class. Sometimes I'll lose my head, sometimes I'll have a rant, sometimes I'll swear, that's me. But I'm never not going to be me just to get something out of it. Do you know what I mean? It don't make sense. And I feel like that geezer is probably someone that on another day, if he saw Jesse Lingard in a shop, and Jesse Lingard's on his own and he's on his own, oh, Jesse, mate, can I have a selfie, please? But as soon as there's a crowd there, and as soon as there's, I can get something out of this, and I can get, retweets and clicks, and man, when I act up, it's daft. It's daft. I just don't get it. But I think we also live in a world where that behaviour is encouraged. Even in the, we make fan content and stuff like that. And I never try and encourage that kind of abuse. I would benefit from it if I did. 100% would. Full-time Devils and my channel, we would all benefit from it if I did. But it's not about that. We're all fans at the end of the day. We're all supporters of the club. Act like it. Have an opinion. Have a laugh and a joke. Even if it is at our expense. There's no need to go over the top. And saying someone isn't good enough is fine. Just say that. I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he should play for United. What are you gaining by telling them that? It's like when I started this, I used to check my name on Twitter all the time and what's people saying now? Do people like the videos? Why even bother? If you guys are like, add some sense, or thank you very much for watching, I appreciate you, all of that. But I'm not going to go searching for it, because you're only going to find what you don't want to read, or you don't want to see. And yeah, it's the world we live in, man. Anyway, back to the football. United City this weekend, Sunday. Remember, content coming up. Preview on Full-Time Devils coming up. Fan cams coming up on Full-Time Devils. Reaction coming up here. Live stream on McKola TV. And remember, we've got plenty more coming your way as well. I'll do something tomorrow on the channel. Then we'll have the reaction on the City game. Then on Monday, we'll have the Premier League Gazette, which is a new series that we've started. Weekly United's coming up as well. So plenty more content for your ass coming up very soon. Remember, I'm going to open up subscription. So if you want to subscribe to support the channel, feel free to do that. It'll be a few quid. If you don't want to, don't have to. You're still going to get the same content as everyone else, because all of my content will always be free. So thank you for tuning in. Make sure you're liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. For now, I have been McKola. Going to get out of here. But thank you for tuning in. Make sure you're subscribing, and subscribe to Straight Up as well. The link's in the description. See you later.